Hello and welcome back to our channel, where we explore the journey of aging with grace, wisdom, and a little bit of heartfelt understanding. Today, we're going to talk about something incredibly sensitive, something many of us experience but rarely speak about openly. The crushing feeling when you realize you are no longer needed. Have you ever found yourself standing in your quiet home, perhaps after years of bustling activity, and suddenly thought, what now? Who needs me anymore? Maybe your children have flown the nest, your career has ended, or the roles you once held so dear have simply shifted. It's a profound moment, often accompanied by a pang of sadness, confusion, and even a loss of identity. It's not just a feeling. It can feel like a deep, heavy weight on your soul. Today, we're going to gently unpack this emotion, understand why it happens, and most importantly, explore how to move through it and rediscover your vital place in the world. Because trust me, you are needed, and your journey is far from over. 01:15.1, the shift in roles. One of the primary reasons we start to feel unneeded stems from a significant shift in our life roles. For decades, many of us have been defined by our responsibilities. As a parent, a spouse, a dedicated professional, a community leader. Think about Sarah, for instance. For 30 years, Sarah was the go-to person at her office. Her colleagues relied on her organizational skills, her ability to calm tense situations, and her institutional knowledge. She was indispensable. But then came retirement. Suddenly, her phone stopped ringing with work emergencies. Her calendar, once packed, was now wide open. She'd wake up each morning, coffee in hand, looking at an empty day, and a profound sense of irrelevance would wash over her. It wasn't just about the work. It was about the feeling of being essential to something bigger than herself. When these core roles diminish or disappear, it leaves a void, and the question, who needs me now, becomes deafening. It's a natural reaction to a major life transition, but it doesn't have to be a permanent state. 02:25.2, the empty nest syndrome amplified. For many, this feeling is deeply intertwined with the empty nest syndrome, but it's often more intense. It's not just that your children have grown and moved out. It's the realization that they no longer rely on you in the same fundamental way. You're no longer the primary problem solver, the chauffeur, the daily confidant for scraped knees or broken hearts. Consider Mark and Emily. Their 3 children were their entire world. Weekends were a blur of soccer games, school projects, and family dinners. Emily spent years ensuring healthy meals. Mark was a family handyman and advisor. Now, their kids are thriving adults with their own families, their own careers, and their own busy lives. They call, yes, but often it's to share updates, not ask for daily guidance or urgent help. Mark still tinkers in the garage, but the projects are for himself, not for fixing a child's car. Emily still cooks, but the table often feels too large for just 2. While they're incredibly proud of their independent children, there's an underlying current of melancholy, a sense that their most crucial, hands-on parenting days are irrevocably over, and with it, a piece of their daily purpose. 03:40.3, the erosion of self-worth. When we feel unneeded, it often leads to an insidious erosion of our self-worth. For so long, our contributions to others have been a bedrock of our identity and a source of pride. Our sense of value came from our utility, our ability to make a difference in someone else's life or project. Think of someone like David. David was a generous volunteer for decades, always the first to offer help, whether it was organizing the church picnic or driving elderly neighbors to appointments. He derived immense satisfaction from knowing he was a valued member of his community. But as he entered his late 70s, his energy levels naturally declined. He found himself saying no to commitments, not because he didn't want to help, but because he simply couldn't keep up. Slowly, other, younger volunteers stepped in, and while he was grateful, he also felt a slow, quiet fade. The requests stopped coming as frequently, and he began to feel like he was fading into background, less capable, and therefore less valuable. This feeling that our worth is diminishing because our capacity for active contribution has changed is a painful trap we can fall into. 04:50.4, the illusion of control and importance. This crushing feeling can also stem from losing the illusion of control and importance we once held. When we are younger and actively building careers or raising families, we are often at the center of many decisions, orchestrating schedules, guiding outcomes. There's a tangible sense of impact. When that fades, the feeling of being needed can transform into a need to be in control or to feel important. Janice, a retired executive, struggled immensely with this. For 40 years, she managed large teams, making high-stakes decisions daily. Her opinions were sought, her directives followed. In retirement, her husband was happy to make all the household decisions, and her children rarely asked for her input on their lives. While rationally she knew this was part of their growth, emotionally, she felt profound loss of her sphere of influence. She missed the intellectual challenge, but more than that, she missed the feeling of her ideas being critical, of her presence mattering in a direct, impactful way. This shift forces us to redefine what mattering means beyond direct control or daily importance to others. 06:10.5 Fear becoming a burden. Perhaps one of the most poignant aspects of feeling unneeded is the underlying fear of becoming a burden. Many of us, having spent our lives caring for others, dread the thought of reversing those roles. The idea of needing help, of being reliant, can be deeply unsettling. Consider George, a fiercely independent man who had always prided himself on his self-sufficiency. He managed his finances, maintained his home, and never asked anyone for anything. As he started to have minor health issues and his mobility became more restricted, his adult daughter, bless her heart, began offering to help with groceries, errands, and even light chores around the house. Initially, George accepted gratefully, but soon a discomfort grew. Every offer of help, every act of kindness, began to chip away at his sense of independence. He started to view himself not as someone being cared for out of love, but as someone who needed care which, in his mind, was one step closer to being a burden. This internal struggle is a powerful driver of the feeling of being unneeded, as we equate needing help with losing our value. 07:35.6 Rediscovering your inherent value. So, how do we navigate this challenging terrain? The first step is to recognize that your value, your worth, is not solely tied to your utility or what you do for others. Your value is inherent. It's who you are, the sum of your experiences, your wisdom, your resilience, and your very existence. Just like a beautiful, ancient tree doesn't need to produce fruit every year to be magnificent. You don't need constant external validation to be invaluable. Secondly, this can be a powerful time for redefinition. What does being needed look like for you now? It might not be the same as it was 20 years ago. It can be found in mentoring a younger person, sharing your life stories, cultivating a new hobby that brings you joy, or simply being a source of comfort and presence for your loved ones. Perhaps it's learning to be needed by yourself, to nurture your own soul, to explore long-deferred dreams, to simply be. Take Martha, who felt utterly lost after retirement. She had always loved gardening, but never had the time. When the unneeded feeling crept in, she decided to channel that energy into transforming her neglected backyard. She spent hours researching, planting, and nurturing. Soon, her garden became a neighborhood marvel. People would stop by, admire her work, and ask for advice. She started a small community garden project, teaching others. Martha found that while her children didn't need her to pack their lunches anymore, her community needed her green thumb and her gentle guidance. She wasn't just planting flowers. She was planting seeds of connection and purpose. Your experience and wisdom are a treasure. There are countless people who could benefit from your perspective, your stories, your quiet presence, or your laughter. This phase of life, while challenging, is also ripe with possibilities for new forms of contribution and new ways to feel incredibly vital. 09:20 Conclusion. So, if you've been grappling with that crushing feeling, please know you are not alone. It's a natural part of life's evolving journey, but it doesn't have to be your ending. It can be a powerful invitation to pivot, to redefine, and to discover an even deeper, more authentic sense of purpose and self-worth. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you experienced this feeling? How did you navigate it? Please share your wisdom and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video resonated with you, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more meaningful conversations, and share with anyone who might find comfort and inspiration in these words. Thank you for joining us, and remember, your story, your presence, and your wisdom are truly irreplaceable. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.